Deep below the Pacific Ocean lies a hot spot that continuously spews forth volcanic lava. Eventually this new rock breaks the surface of the water as an island. Hawaii is the most remote group of islands in the world, more than 2,500 miles from the nearest mainland. The volcanoes that gave them life are mainly extinct, although there is still some activity on Big Island, and a totally new island is already being created beneath the waves. The towering cliffs have a fresh outline. Their jagged folds of relatively new volcanic rock have had little opportunity to be smoothed by the erosion of time. The peaks are green with the lush vegetation of tropical rainforests. It's worth taking the opportunity to explore the natural environment of the islands under the guidance of a native Hawaiian. Trekking through high jungle vegetation, you'll discover the friendliness of the people and learn about their historical culture and how they use the natural materials of the forest.
Off the tree. Rip this whole bark off. They get the kukui nut. The oil of the kukui nut, they rub on the bark, both sides. They let it hang in weather like this for 2 to 3 days. They come back, they split it down the middle. They get 8 to 12 of them. They weave it together. That becomes a rope, which is stronger than nylon rope.
There are no snakes or poisonous plants in Hawaii. The air is full of the sound of birdsong and the scent of forest flowers. And at the end of the trail, you may be lucky to find a beautifully cool, fresh, unpolluted waterfall. The white sandy beaches, sheltered by palm trees, are lapped by the warm waves of the Pacific Ocean. In the clear waters, the coral reefs are home to a varied sea life, and with a little guidance you can soon find yourself snorkeling face to face with the beautiful inhabitants of this other world. In winter, the Pacific waves can reach 30 feet high, and Hawaii is the world's surfing capital. But in the summer, the surf is gentler, and newcomers can enjoy the slightly less dangerous but adequately exhilarating sport of boogie boarding. The skill is in catching the front edge of a breaking wave at just the right moment, but it's not as easy as some people make it look. So it's a case of try and try again. Practice makes perfect. And eventually it will work. The original inhabitants of Hawaii were Polynesians who spread their culture over thousands of miles of empty sea in open canoes, using only the stars for navigation. In the Polynesian Cultural Centre, canoes provide the staging for a colourful water pageant, as islanders from as far apart as Tahiti and Fiji display their own music and dance. As you make a virtual journey from one Pacific island to the next in a single day, you will discover much about their different cultures and traditions.
Now, New Zealand is the only Polynesian island which experiences all four seasons. Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed their day here in the Polynesian Culture Center.
One of the most entertaining demonstrations was by Chief Cielo Avea of Samoa, who demonstrated how to make fire by rubbing two sticks together. As he jokingly said, he was trying to earn enough money doing this to buy a microwave oven, which would be much easier.
You see the smoke? That's fire. You want to see a big fire? Let's just transfer the burning biogas from the wood to the food. Holy smoke. You want to see flame? Back up.
The importance of fire is very powerful in a primitive culture. The beautifully presented Polynesian evening show contained many colourful reminders of its influence. Chief Cielo Avea was active again, demonstrating his further skill with flames in the Samoan fire dance. Another traditional activity of the Polynesians, first seen in drawings made during Captain Cook's voyages, is riding the waves on surfboards. This is one of the delights which now attracts holidaymakers from all over the world. The surf may not be high enough in the summer for showing off the best styles, but even the boogie boarders were enjoying the fun on Waikiki Beach. Here, under the shadow of Diamond Head Volcano, tourists and locals alike enjoy all the pleasures of one of the world's most perfect holiday venues. So come on in. The water's fine, although it can be a bit crowded. Modern Hawaii has developed rapidly since Captain Cook first found natives in mud huts just over 200 years ago. Architectural office blocks reflect the importance that large multinational companies place on Hawaii's strategic economic position, halfway between America and Asia. However, even the most modern cities need to call upon some traditional skills to keep the swaying palm trees trimmed. An evening stroll through Waikiki shows the strange neighbourly juxtaposition of cheap beach souvenirs and the unpriced, sophisticated elegance of designer name boutiques. Away from the bustle of the city, the islands are beautiful. There's almost a sense of purity. It deserves its reputation as the island of paradise. Hawaiians are vigilant in their protection of the environment, believing strongly that the spirits of their ancestors still live there. There is very little pollution, and the inhabitants are the healthiest in America. Great efforts are made to support the natural plants and animals. Popular beaches are closed one day a week to help give the fish and plant life time to recover from the visiting crowds. Hawaiians encourage a caring interest in nature through easily accessible educational programs. Well-designed aquaria introduce the public to the delights of the sea. And at the same time, it is a criminal offence, punishable by imprisonment, to disturb wildlife such as this beautiful sea turtle. Ancient Polynesians didn't have a written language, but there are many other ways to maintain and record a cultural heritage. They are proud people who passed on their history through storytelling and song. Even the movements of the hula dance have a meaning. As well as taking pleasure in the natural delights of the islands, they use flowers as a traditional sign of welcome. They are hospitable and delight in finding any excuse for a feast. The sunset luau at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel on Waikiki Beach brings together all the sensual delights of these wonderful islands. The Hawaiian language is hard to speak, except for one word that is known throughout the world: aloha. Its actual translation means, "I give you the breath of life." In practice, it has three uses: hello, farewell, and, more importantly, love. What more do you need from one word?